Assalamualaikum. Ni hao, Benakum. My name is Muhammad Akil Harith bin Muhammad Asri. I'm from DBS 2B. My student ID is MDB 2211056. For my part in this economy project, I've got the question number 1, and I will answer and explain it to you guys. So this is the context and the question. For question number 1, I will be answering this question using price elasticity of demand formula. There are change in quantity demanded divided by change in price. First of all, why do we need to use price elasticity of demand? It is because the measurement allows us to know the consumer sensitivity to price changes in order to apply an effective price strategy and estimate the way if the price in purchase choice. So what is the importance in price elasticity of demand? The important is it allows someone that's selling goods to make informed decisions about pricing strategies. This provides seller with information about consumer pricing sensitivity. It is also a key for makers of goods to determine manufacturing plans. Next is, I need to calculate the price elasticity of demand for each goods that Sulaiman bought. So for the meat calculation, it will be 8, that is the new quantity demanded minus 20, the old quantity demanded, and divide it by 20. So the answer should be negative 0.6. Next is 18, the new price of meat, minus 15, the old price of meat, and divide it by 15. So the answer should be 0.2. The last step I should do is 0.6 divide it by 0.2. So the final answer will be negative 3. After that, I need to calculate the price elasticity of demand for chicken. The first thing I should calculate is 28, the new quantity demanded, minus 30, the old quantity demanded. So the answer will be negative 0.06. Next calculation is 11, the new price, minus 9, the old price. Divide it by 9, the old price. So the answer will be 0.22. The last step I will do is calculate negative 0.06, the price elasticity of meat, divide it with 0.22. The answer will be 0.27. That is round up. The answer will be negative 0.3. The negative sign will be ignored. So the final answer will be 0.3. So for question number 2, I will state the types of elasticity of demand for each goods. So the price elasticity of demand for meat is negative 3. So it is inelastic because it is not greater than 1. And the price elasticity for chicken is 0.3. So it is inelastic too because it is still not greater than 1. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hairul Rahman bin Abdul Rahim and I'm from DBS 2B and my number is MDB 2211071. So I got the question number 2. They want me to calculate the cross elasticity of demand. But first I'm going to explain to you about the cross elasticity of demand. Cross elasticity of demand measure the degree of responsiveness of the quantity demanded for particular goods, example goods Y, with respect the change in the price of the other goods, example goods X. The change in the price of the related goods may lead to the change of the quantity demand of the other goods. Cross elasticity of demand is calculated to determine the relationship of for goods, product, whether it's complement, substitutes or not related at all. So this is how I answer the first question. I use the cross elasticity of demand formula. The new quantity demand minus the old quantity demand divide with the old quantity demand, then times with the old price divide to the new price minus old price. Like we mentioned in the question, the old price of the good S is RM27 and the new price of the goods S is 23. And the old quantity demand for goods Y is 1200 units and the new quantity demand for goods Y is 800 units. This is how I answer the question. 800 minus 1200 and then I divide with the 1200 and then I got negative 1 per 3 and then 27 divide with the 23 minus 27 and then I got negative 27 per 4 and then negative 1 per 3 times negative 27 per 4 and then I get 2.25. So after I got the answer for the question 1, I can move on to the question 2. The question 2 want me to determine the relationship of the good X and goods Y, whether it's complement, substitute, or not related at all. So my answer is the relationship of good Y and the good X is substitute, because when the price of the good X decrease, the quantity of demanded for goods Y also decrease. It shows that the consumer will demand less for the goods Y when the price of the goods X is decreased.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Adi Farhan bin Azmi. My ID number is MDB2211081 and I am from DBS2B. I have got the question number 3, which is I need to calculate income elasticity of demand. Before I go through the first question, I would like to explain about income elasticity of demand. So, income elasticity of demand measures the degree of responsiveness of the quantity demand for a particular good with respect to the changes in the income of the consumer. We can also define this concept as the ratio of the percentage change in quantity demanded for a commodity to the percentage change in income. It is calculated to determine the type of the particular goods, whether it is an essential, normal, luxury, or inferior good. For question number 1, inferior products have a negative income of demand because an increase in the consumer's income will cause a decrease in quantity demand, vice versa. For example, inferior product, broken rice. In addition, the consumer will reduce the purchase of inferior goods and switch to better quality goods when income rises. Next, question number 2. This is the formula for question number 2, which is new quantity demand minus old quantity demand divide old quantity demand. After that, times old price divide new price minus old price. Next, this is how I calculate the income elasticity. 270 minus 210 divide 210. The answer is 2/7. After that, 2,900 divide 3,250 minus 2,900. The answer is 8/2/7. After getting both answers, we need to multiply to get the final answer. And the final that I've got is 2.36. Last but not least, question number 3, the type of product is luxury goods because the income elasticity of demand are higher than one. For example, Ferrari car, Gucci, and Rolex. A rise in income by 1% will lead to increase in quantity demand for luxury goods by 2.36.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazif Nazhan bin Zulkarnain. My ID number is MDB2211070. I will give a short introduction about degrees of responsiveness in price elasticity of supply. The degree of elasticity of supply helps in defining the shape and slope of a supply curve. There are 5 degrees of responsiveness in price elasticity of supply. The first is perfect inelastic, the second is inelastic, the third is unitary elastic, the fourth is elastic, and the last one is perfectly elastic. So the first question stated that when the price of goods A is 200 ringgit, the quantity supplied is 100 units. When the price increase from 300 ringgit, the quantity supplied is unchanged at 100 units. So based on my study and research, I have come up with the answer for the first question, that is perfectly inelastic graph. How to identify whether it is perfectly inelastic graph or not? The only way is to know no matter how much the price change, the quantity supplied will remain unchanged. Supplier will sell the same number of goods A regardless of the movement of the price. Even though the price increase from 200 ringgit to 300 ringgit, it will not affect the amount of quantity supplied. The curve for the graph shows vertical supply curve. The second question stated that when the price of goods A increase from 200 to 300 ringgit, the quantity supply of good A increased from 100 units to 130 units. When the price of goods A increased from 200 ringgit to 300 ringgit, the quantity supply increased from 100 units to 180 units. Then, the second question have two statements, which require me to sketch two graphs. The first graph is an elastic. An elastic happens when change in the price of goods causes a small percentage change in the quantity supplied. The percentage change in the price from 200 ringgit to 300 ringgit is larger than the percentage change in the quantity supplied, which is from 100 units to 130 units. The difference of the amount of change in the price is 100 ringgit. Meanwhile, for the difference of the amount change for the quantity supplied is 30 units. The curve for this graph shows steeper slope of supply curve.
So, for the second graph is an elastic graph. Although you can see the difference of price and quantity supply in the graph, you should calculate the price change and quantity change in supply using the formula given, which is new quantity supplied minus old quantity supplied divided by old quantity supplied. Then new price minus old price divided by old price. By then, the answer of quantity supplied times the answer of price. You will get the answer for price elasticity of supply for this graph, which is 1.6. If the amount of price elasticity of supply is more or bigger than 1, the answer should be elastic. The curve of elastic graph is flattest slope of supply curve.